want to pick on that memory and yours as well as we look into the third game of the day. This is really important. They didn't roll down and died. We were talking about this. Bifrost are taking a stand versus X7. For the first time, Viking lost the game with X7. Could this affect the mentality of X7, Merbs?
I mean, I think it could, but I don't think it will. I think they are too much on an upwave strategy. Yeah. And I just think they are still gonna take it. But yeah, I like what Bifrost brought.
Yeah, they're fighting it on versus X7, and to me, the last time I saw a team like this with the big victory score, like a good net from victories, and then they lost the game, and I was like, this is not going to affect. It was G2, it was MSI, I have PTSD.
Oh, don't mention
so
that.
I don't know what's going to happen
that.
right now. So let's look into this. What do you believe Bifrost can use right now to their advantage to take on X7? I'm looking at production and trying to get the information on who picked right side and blue side. And as soon as I have it, I'll give it to you. Talk to me, Declan.
I want to say, the last time I saw a team have a very good win streak and then lose one game thinking it wouldn't affect them was JDXL. And what happened then? They lost to pretty much everyone. 5-6 games in a row.
You don't need to do that, okay?
I'm just saying, that's
There's
the last time I remember a team that looked very good losing.
I have the information right now.
Okay, give it to me.
X7 picked a blue side.
Okay.
So it's going to be the same as we did on the 2 previous games. Why do you think X7 would pick blue side? What is the advantage for blue side? Is it the Zeri?
I think it's the power picks, yeah. And I think the series is looking fine for them. But I like what Bifrost did this game with the Aphelios and Tamkench. I think it's something that actually works into Seri. So I don't know if they are going to go with the same or if they're actually going to change something up.
Because you either allow the Zeri to go through, but then you have to think about, do we allow the Nocturne? Do you think the Nocturne is a problem right now?
I don't think that was the biggest game changer.
Okay.
I think the Nocturne had good use, but that was only because so many other meta junglers was banned. So, I mean, if you remove the Vi ban or remove the Trundle ban or something like that and then ban the Nocturne instead, I think the Trundle still works perfectly fine. I think the Wukong, if they allow that to be open, will definitely be picked. So for me, there was already so many bans on the jungle that I don't think you can find space to it without opening up for another jungler that can succeed in pretty much the same sense.
So the first loss for Viking right now, and let's see how X7 can deal with Bifrost or the opposite. But before we go into Champion Select, we want to know what the experts at the chat from Twitch are saying right now. Show me those percentage. Yeah. Second game, you guys were 88-12.
Wow.
Oh,
wow. All of a sudden, Bifrost can win again, guys.
Oh, the tables have turned.
Who would have thought
It's
it?
almost like the first game.
Yeah.
It almost seems like you guys are not believing.
I mean, this is like, oh, Bifrost actually knew how to win. I have faith in the game. I always had. And all of a sudden, you're like, we know. Only 12% of you guys believed when they were down and out. Only 12% of you are real Bifrost enjoyers.
The true G's.
This is disappointing. You can't just come back being like a glory hunter. Oh, they won a game. Yes, I have always believed in Bifrost. I'm the biggest stan of Bifrost, please. Like, you can't do that, man. This is dirty. I'm looking at the 12% who did it last time, and those are the real heroes.
Chat, you know his at Twitter, so attack him if you can and make him suffer. Now let's talk about the third game. We're almost ready to go into Champion Select. What can you expect? I just want to get like quick mindsets of this one. We're 1 minute away, almost that, before we jump into the third one. I know Bifrost are now on a good ride, on a good wave. What can they use? Do we get to see the Gnar again on the Shikari?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. The Gnar, super important. We've seen both teams succeed with it. It's a strong blind pick, so you can pick it early and allow yourself to get another counter pick in the late game or in the later stages of the draft. And for me, I also want to say, either getting the Jinx or the Aphelios, the meta shifted towards those two again. We know Odie can have some success with them. We just saw it last game. We saw it throughout the entirety of spring 2022. So, you know, just pick one of those two.
Okay, what about you? As an AD carry, you favor the Aphelios and the Jinx nowadays?
Yeah, I think so. I think the meta is just a bit random at the moment. I think you can play literally anything, and I think you can just do whatever you want. And I think that they're not gonna first pick the Seri anymore. I think they're just gonna maybe get the jungle and something and wait with the ADC.
And maybe they can play for the early game on the bot side, because we did get to see the Draven being and released, not banned.
Yeah.
And it seemed like X7 didn't win for that one. They didn't bite the hook. So let's see if X7 picks an early game for the bot line, and they still play for the bot game as they did on the first game. What else Bifrost can adapt to that one? We've seen Adi and Azir on the mid lane so far. No other mid laners. Talia has been banned, and I don't think that ban is going to change, right?
No, I think Talia ban is super important. Like, if you give that to Temp, first of all, he's very good on the pick. Second of all, he's going to unlock the map and really make it hard for Bifrost to play the game. So, to me, that ban has to stay. The Puppey ban has to stay. We saw how much more of an impact Viking managed to have on that champion. And the Yuumi ban, just because Yuumi's a very annoying champ, and we don't like seeing her. Thank you.
Yes, that is something that we can all agree upon. And if we do have Yuumi on the chat, like mains of Yuumi,
can we ban them? I'm going to go out and ban them. I'm not on the stream. I'm going to go out and ban them. I'm sorry.
Just do that. Talking about making our moderators work, give us your predictions on who do you think is going to win. Don't listen to him, okay? You're allowed to change some sort of mentality. As we jump into the third champion select of the day, it's my time. I hit the button. We're going to do this right now. Yeah, chat. Now here on NLC, we do have the button for you guys. We're not going to make you wait. So third game of the day, X7 versus Bifrost. It's going to be the Talia, the Kalista, the Yuumi, the usual... Oh, they changed.
See, that makes sense. We saw the OD late game performance on Aphelios, and that to me, I mentioned it, leaves the Jinx to be the obvious choice. If they ban that as well, I'm excited to see what OD will be going towards. Maybe the Caitlyn, who's been buffed in 12th, 12B, could be playable. But the bans, I like that they're sticking with the Wukong. We know the strength that Bifrost have with that pick, so very good ban so far from X7. I'm pleased.
Sivir as well. I was expecting to see Sivir more often on this playoffs, but
that
yeah.
means the bans have to change from the side of Bifrost. Someone here, either the Yuumi or the Puppey or the Draven, will go unbanned. Which one will it be? I honestly prefer the Puppey ban here, or maybe the Yuumi's important enough to not allow the Yuumi Sari to really come through. It's a hard choice. They banned the Sari actually instead, so Yuumi's left open, Draven is left open, the Puppey is left open, and the Puppey is the main thing for me. The Puppey's open, it's...
Yeah, just first pick it.
Why?
It is a priority for Viking, but if they don't ban the Puppey, it means they need an answer. They can favor now the bot lane, maybe?
I mean, to me, what is the jungle answer? It is definitely not the Trundle, and the Jarvan doesn't really work into it either if you're looking at it in that way. I mean, the Nocturne could work because you won't get stopped in your ultimate, from as far as I know.
No, you do
now
not get stopped.
So you don't get stopped in that, so you can actually close the gap and can still get the engage, no matter if Puppey's in the air. So I think the Nocturne might actually be a pretty smart pick here, but I like the very first pick here on the Gnar. We saw how important he is in these late game team fights for both teams in the first and second game, so bringing that back is completely fine in my book.
So that way you already know the top plan, that you can counter that as X7, but when it was Bifrost playing on the first game, they counter-picked with an Ornn versus an Gnar, so they wasted that one. Maybe they're trying to save that one for Fury on the mid lane, for an assassin. Fury, I'm looking at you. We need an assassin. That would be interesting to see. GP was banned most of the, well, 2 games in a row, and he's finally unbenched versus the Gnar. What is that face?
That is this very quick Silas lock-in as well. That is a huge denial.
Banned as well.
Yeah, permabanned, and we know Fury is very good at it, so that is now taken off the table. It means you're able to steal the Gnar ultimate as well, which is very, very strong because it has, if you didn't know, incredible AP scaling. So first of all, you don't have to Gnar out in terms of having the rage bar stacked up when you're Silas, plus you deal a lot of damage. Second of all, you can also steal the Tim Kench onto it, devour your own carry in the late game teamfights if it's needed, but I very much like the Jinx here. That means Odie is back on one of his 2 spring champions that he had a lot of success on, so happy with that, but I think X7 have a good draft so far as well.
Let's break it down, because now with the Silas, I don't see Fury going for the Yari. You don't go for that one versus Silas. It is almost like a counter pick. You see the Jinx. You're an AD carry. By the way, it's an AD carry for Vayne. For those of you who are not aware, this is Merbs. There you go. Merbs, you see that Jinx. What do you pick?
Honestly, there's a lot of ADC bans here.
Give you some ideas.
I guess just roll back for the Ezreal, and yeah, I think it's something Attila is very comfortable on, so yeah, I think that's the approach they will take.
Maybe they can ban it as well. If Bifrost look into that one, the champion pool is going to be devastated for Attila. Maybe, there you go. He may be forced to go back to the Varus that he once played before.
Maybe?
Tristana.
If we are really grasping at straws. That's what we are, because they themselves, X7, have banned 2 AD carries.
Versus a Gnar?
All AD carries banned from the side of Odie. And that's the thing, right? The Tristana is nearly optimal. it's the fact that the AD carry pool has been trimmed so much that we're sitting here, okay, we know he can play a lot of Tristana, and if he wants some, power early game, he could go for that. The Yeshvil has been removed, right? That's what you mentioned. And I'm gonna stop the AD carry talk because that would be a Viking for not the Viking, but for Diamond Procs instead. And
are you gonna do it?
He does.
The Mad Lad is gonna do it. So Diamond Procs picking in the Viking versus Viking. This is something I was not expecting. Do you like this pick?
Yeah, I think it's good against Poppy. I think you can actually threaten her and fight her in the early game. And with the ult as well, you can just stop so much CC from her.
But it's another ultimate that Salus can steal away, and then you're unstoppable as well. You don't care about the Tom Kench, you don't care about the Nod as well. This could be... This is picked.
It is a Seraphine.
Yeah.
It has to be support.
No way.
You're putting Attila on the Seraphine?
They could really be flipping the script here. If they lock in that Bard, that is a Seraphine for Attila. And if you don't know, guys, Attila, normally known for the Draven, for the aggressive AD carries, for taking over the lane, and that could be a center locked in, so he could be going on the center.
Yes.
But then it will be a fasting center, so that's not like the Attila hyper carry. Regardless, this is very different from the side of X7, who, when they are faced with defeat, are digging deep, trying something different in game number 3, and I'm gonna be honest, I was very happy with the first 3 picks. The last 2, it could either work very well, or it just crashes and burns because it's not the style that we normally see Attila and Kaseng play together.
The last game we saw X7 sophisticate their draft. It was one of the weakest victories they got during the regular split. So this is confusing as well. They're taking on Bifrost. Bifrost, I believe they're comfortable. There's a lot of ultimates though for Silas. So this is kind of a... I want to know the percentage and who do you favor? Not the Twitch percentage, your percentage, Merbs.
I'm still gonna give it 60-40, I think, to X7. I think what they draft is pretty good, but I really like that Bifrost has adapted pretty well into the series, and I think
who's gonna take it?
It's pretty close. I think, yeah, 60-40 to X7.
To X7, so you're sticking with X7.
I'm gonna flip it 60-40 to Bifrost. I think they have overall the better draft. I'm gonna say them, but for me, we know Temp is an insane player. Temp can easily 1v9 this. If he gets rolling in the early game and he steals the good ultimates, he could take over, and that's mainly the win condition that I'm looking at. Obviously, chasing the late game and all that on the GP will be strong, but Temp has a real shot of 1v9ing. But I'm gonna go with Bifrost. I think overall, if everything goes to plan for them, they should be winning the game. So I'm 60-40, very close, but I'm giving it to Bifrost.
A lot of questions on this third game of the day, as Attila is going to take more of a supportive role and Kaseng is the one shooting the guns. We're jumping to the third one as we toss it to the casters. It is Trouble Inc. and Initialize.
Welcome back to the caster desk. Another set of very different drafts. AP Nocturne in the mid lane, Jinx is backed.
Hey, don't
Wild
steal
Bands.
my quotes.
Okay, you were going to talk about the AD carries. You're right, that was Trouble's quote.
So basically, I call Vex an AP Nocturne because she pretty much can have the same distance with her ultimate and close towards the side lane. She's also a spot the inter kind of champion, roams really quickly. But I want to put a lot of emphasis on our 2 AD carries. These picks and bans saw 6 AD carry bans. OD falling back to his cold spring favorite, the Jinx, since the Fellows was banned, and this time Attila falling towards a more supportive role, as Asher mentioned as well, the Seraphine. Now, why this is worrying, I feel like Attila has played a very pivotal part in this particular best of 5 by carrying the team onto this series. Now, falling back and allowing others to do the job for him, can they do it well enough? Because Roman mid lane, no longer there. Hyper carry, no longer there.
Yeah, and lots of big teamfight ultimates for X7. Cannon Barrages, Encores, Dawning Shadows. On the other side, Bifrost, it's protect the Jinx and get that Ragnarok rolling. And on to the Rift we go for our third game of the series. It was supposed to be a quick one. It was supposed to be X7 favored, but Bifrost struck back in game 2. And now to see which team hits match point.
Honestly, don't know what our experts are doing over in Twitch chat, giving it all to X7. I think that Bifrost, yes, they had found their groove towards the latter stages of the season, but also it was a little bit boring, a little bit stale, a little bit expected, right? What they were going to pick. Right here, they've come in with Diamond Procs on Nocturne. Diamond Prox on Olaf, Fury on Vex. And to me, it shows a lot more creativity on the side of Bifrost and how much they've been working towards their identity and how they want to play the game and how they want to expand their champion pools to be able to throw curveballs towards X7. X7 could not deal with the Nocturne on side lanes. Chasey kept getting caught. The second the lights went down, they were a little bit lost in these team fights, which was the reason why Bifrost were able to turn these big team fights around, allowing Audi the freedom to get this huge small advantage onto the Aphelios. Now, again, I do agree with you. This front-to-back team fighting composition, again, from Bifrost, works the exact same way. But there is one common denominator to all victories in this best of 5, no matter if they've gone both ways, and that's the Gnar.
Yes.
Gnar is 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, and Chasey in that first game did despicable things, got massive leads individually. Shikari with the beautiful team fight plays, even into the counter matchup. And, you know, credit, of course, over to Fury and Diamond Prox as well for shielding that lane. Didn't necessarily get that many ganks off, but prevented too much opportunity for Chasey to find those 1v1s, because they were never 1v1s. But this time around, he has the GP, a matchup which I remind you in the regular season, he smashed the other way around. And if he can smash on the GP into the Gnar, well, we've seen how much this guy can do with the lead.
Now, talking about these compositions, right? When you have Olaf in the jungle, Olaf usually wants to be really low HP in his jungle so he can activate his passive and clear faster, which means that the more priority lanes you have, the more you're shielding, the more you're protecting your Olaf from potential invade. Having that Vex in the mid lane into the Sylards means that you're gonna get perma prior into this early game, shoving your wave into that melee in the mid lane. Same thing. Usually you'd see bot lane have perma prior, but right now Seraphine and Senna, both lanes, both deal massive AoE amounts of damage. It's really difficult for Jinx to get that prior, but the fact that Fury is there to walk in first. Also, pay attention to the summoners. Fury running the Ignite, looking for the kill. Same as Viking, he has pinged these Krugs. He carries pretty low. He's gonna be turning into Minion soon. There's a huge wave stacking underneath his tower. Is Diamond Prox gonna be there in time to have that dive?
Diamond's going to spot him, I think, as he walks into the bush, but it might just be too little, it might just be too late. There's the Keeper's Verdict flash out, though, trying to play this one out. And now the turnarounds could come through. Vikings in danger, has got a phase rush, but the undertows are landing. No one's dragged under quite yet. Trying to play around the vision is Diamond Prox. Shikari not really trading this one out as yet. And both sides walk away. Some summoners burn, but no one dead quite yet.
I remember, the lower HP the Olaf, the more he heals.
Oh, yeah.
So he's literally instantly back to almost full HP. Really nice flash from Shikari right there. Doesn't stand very close to any wall, whether it was his tower or the wall of Summoner's Rift, to actually get stunned by the Poppy, because if he did, he would die, which means the Viking tries for a gank, blows his own flash. Don't get me wrong, also Diamond Prox and Shikari burning their own summoners, but most importantly, that Gnar survives.
Yes, it does, and of course the Ghost is popped, but on the other side, you know, Vikings down those summoners, the gank doesn't pay off, and the Gnar survives this time around. We saw how critical it was to keep Shikari stable in the last game. Yes, it became a little bit of a bloodbath, but it was one that Bifrost came out on top of. And what's got you smarting here is another.
That was a really nice power chord E right there from the side of Attila. Right as Highway was abyssal diving his way to both Attila and Kasing right there. Really well done. Diamond Prox though,
He's
level
not done.
2, level 3, level 4. It is for sure that he's going to gank. Kasing might be in trouble.
Down. Kasing gets slowed by the tongue lash. The zap as well, and Kasing just cannot run far enough away. The heal's doing so much work, but it's alongside the piercing darkness, and the summoners are popped, but Kasing stays alive.
And that's very important, because look at the jungle that's still up and available for Diamond Prox. It's the bot quadrant. What does that mean? That means that if Audi and Highway build up a wave, you can actually try to go for that bot lane dive, or if X7's bot lane overextends and shoving the wave too aggressively, he's still down there to try and make the return gank. So all eyes on Diamond Prox. He's playing on Olaf. He doesn't necessarily rely on that level 6 to actually get into a lane and get a gank going. And right now it's going to be Bifrost spot lane. They're going to shove in the wave really quickly and get back onto the map first. Now, what does that mean? Always when we have a lane reset first, we're looking at these supports. Where do they go? Usually, they're going to be going towards that mid lane. But with Fury also backing right now, I'm not expecting Highway to go on to any expedition.
Not quite yet.
Fury's actually staying though. So as you can see, Highway, he's going to be heading towards that mid lane tempt. Half mana, half HP. Diamond Prox also hovering from the top side right there. So Fury managed to get a fear. Woo, nice dodge.
Just about avoids it. The Doom and Gloom passive doing its work here. And of course, Silas does do a little bit of dashing, so relatively easy to stat that one up. But now, with the level 6 available, can hijack and find his way on board the Vex Express, perhaps without a ticket, and do what he can to make this.
I like that.
I do love that one. So many. I need a High Noon Silas skin now to make the train robbery a little bit more appropriate. There we go. Still, as it stands, a little bit of scuffling around mid lane, but nothing too much more to write home about. And I will take this opportunity to remind people we have some wonderful hashtags here in the NLC. Hashtag NLC Pets. Tonight, going to be watching and cheering with the whole squad of NLC Pets for my good friend, the Diamonds, playing the best of fights. Edward, of course, legendary support
Gambit.
player of Gambit.
The all good Gambit and Moscow 5 days,
Clearly a
where these two
support.
guys were playing together. Talking about playing together, Diamond Prox has been playing together with Shikari a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after game 2.
Here we go again.
Ooh, nice shove.
It's going to be the wall of afterwards. And Chasey, yes, you've got a flash. Yes, you've got a cannon barrage. But I don't think you've got anywhere to run. The Undertow lands alongside a reckless swing. Diamond speeding up with the Ghost. I don't think Chasey's got anywhere to go but the grave. First blood, Shikari.
Very nicely done. And again, it is Chasey with the over-aggressive move, trying to crush his wave. Shikari gets a really nice shuffle on him, and Diamond Prox is there to punish. You know, a lot of the times, which is really funny, when we're talking about spot the Inter, sometimes the Inter does not lie within the enemy team. Sometimes
It lies.
it lies within your own team, and your teammate might be having
Yes.
a happy game like Shikari was in game 1. Diamond Prox has made sure that he's shielding now Shikari with every possible scenario. When Shikari got put ahead in the previous game, when he survived laning phase, he was able to put this huge Mega Nice team fight that completely set up for all this success to carry the game. So yet again, Diamond Prox knows that if he does put this Snar ahead, Shikari's team fighting can actually win them the game together with Oli.
Absolutely, but of course, at this point in the game level, Sixers are starting to come through across the boards, and X7 have got themselves some nasty combos. But still the Shadow Surge landing. Does Fury take the option? Remember, still some ways to turn this one around, and they decide against it. The ultimate is popped, but not followed up on. They're forced away from the Dragon, and the Encore goes wide. Diamond now going to try and take this Dragon. It will be a contest. Mistral Bolt flies round, but that is the Dragon secured. Another kills come through as the Poppy is deleted. Viking kills Viking, and the Tempt, of course, is going to have to flash out as well. Kill, Dragon, and a load of ultimates missed.
Bifrost, very well done right there. Attila missing with the ultimate is huge because that's your one team fighting tool when everybody bunches up from the side of Bifrost. And the fact that Fury hits the ult but doesn't take it creates a lot of confusion on the side of X7 because you don't know. He chooses to go in. You need to be ready on your trigger with his ultimate. If he doesn't, that means that he's actually zoned you out of the fight and bunched you up, which is exactly what he did. Yet again, all the tools on the side of Bifrost are working so freaking well, like a well-oiled machine. Shikari doing his job in the top lane, getting that attention from Diamond Prox. Diamond Prox, 2 early ganks have netted in 2 early kills for them. Fury, perma-shelving Tempt in that mid lane. The fact that Tempt cannot roam is putting X7 behind in the early game. And as for Oldie and Highway, all they have to do is just scale into the late game with the Jinx and the Tahm Kench.
Fury is a player we had a lot of critique for in game 1, but this last game, of course, and this game as well, he has played really well. And this is a player we've seen some ups and downs from across the split. Someone we've not seen as consistent, but right now he's turning up when it matters. And this Vex right now, definitely doing well in the lane, is in a position to be able to impact the rest of the map alongside Diamond's Olaf.
So we've been talking a lot about the impact that Viking has had in X7, right? We'll be hearing their voice comms, everybody's really vocal about it, but it hasn't necessarily just been the fact that Viking does the proactive plays for them. It's more that X7 has a plan, and that plan relies a lot on Tempt roaming the map, playing through side lanes. Now, Fury has had him pinned in mid lane the entirety of this early game, which means that X7 has slowly fallen behind. Diamond Prox has his sights on Chasey again. Chasey no flash.
There's no flash, there's a cleanse, and that's about it. With the oranges to throw down the cannon barrage, but it is really just a 21-gun salute to his own demise. Down with the ship he goes.
But look who's coming up. It's going to be Tempt and it's going to be Viking, but that is a very late roam right there. Look in the mid lane. This whole wave is gonna go to waste. Fury is gonna cash in on one tire plating. There is no TP for Chasey to catch this wave. So that roam was really late. And actually, Tempt himself is gonna have to burn his own teleport without actually backing and going to base. which means that your tempo when it comes to TP is down. Fury doesn't mind. He has the ignite, he wants to kill, but right now, the fact that Temp didn't buy any items, he just came back with the same strength, is really important because it means that Vex can actually really hurt you.
Vex says, get away, Chainman. I have some personal space you must respect. And Viking, forced away from the Herald, thought about trying to take that one around, but Highways roamed up. Diamond Prox is back, got himself a Gore Drinker.
Look on the map right now. Attila and Kasing making their way up top. They really want to fight for that Rift Herald. You know who's not there? It's Odie. Odie needs the farm. Odie needs the farm. He needs to be selfish right here. So Bifrost might actually have to let the Rift Herald go. And that's exactly what they're going to do. You'll see Diamond Prox walking towards the bot side of the map, potentially maybe find the chickens that are going to be spawning right now. Really nice response right here. Still whatever you can. Or actually, they're going for the bot lane dive, which is going to be spotted by this ward. Oh, the lens didn't pick it up.
It's going to be too late because at this point with a Gore Drinker and a Ragnarok, Attila has got nothing to work with. There's a teleport from Chase, it's just not going to matter. Shadow Surge comes in and Odie picks up his first kill of the match.
Very, very clean. If Shikari now also TPs maybe into that mid lane tower, they can actually save it because the Rift Herald has gone to the side of X7 and they need to defend right here and right now. Shikari is making his way indeed towards the mid lane tower. You cannot let X7 take too much tempo, too much gold back. And Fury is just right there in time. Shikari just hovering just in case they pop it. And Viking at the Wraiths, he's going to fight the Gnar. Yordle versus Yordle action in the jungle of Diamond Prox, but just in time for Shikari to also walk towards the top side of the map to cover for his own tower. Really nice stuff right here for Bifrost, understanding where their boundaries lie on the map, who they need to play for, and the one that they need to play for just purchased a Kraken Slayer.
Yes, but all the while, Chasey will take this opportunity with Shikari shielding mid to get this Herald up towards the top side and finish what was started earlier with that level 1 or level 2 play. I apologize, into the tower. All the plates available to go, and Shikari just has to seed it. Not much to be done there. He's already got 2 kills. He's got the steel caps. It's a trade. It's an ugly one, but it's the trade you have to make.
I'm just going to say that we've been very critical of Shikari's laning phase and the way he's managing the waves. I think in this particular game, he's been extremely respectful of ganks, same as in game number 2. He has been letting go of waves when he needs to. He's been roaming around the map whenever he needs to. And so far, it's been a pretty good 2 out of 3 game series for the Bifrost top laner. And again, if you see the previous game, you will see that his engages onto that Gnar were very instrumental to setting up Odin and his affiliates for this success. Jinx works the exact same way. You need that front to back, you need that big peeling and engage. And you have Olaf, Gnar, and Vex to create that room for you.
Yeah, and obviously X7 trying desperately to avoid the Olaf at this point in the game. And another Ocean Soul indeed. Because at this point, so many things that Ragnarok as well, completely immune. The Poppy can't do anything, the Seraphine can't do anything, the Senna can't root you. This is not the time to fight the Olaf. You need a few more items so you can blow him up.
And the argument that I heard on the analyst desk is that Temp can steal the ultimate, and very well he can. And there's not enough CC to stop him from getting to Odie, but there is a catfish that can actually eat him, which means he's no longer a target for the Sylas. So yes, when you have a bunch of CC, no one cares if you have an Olaf ultimate, but at this point, it is a CC towards your AD carry. You nom him, no one gets any damage down on you. So far, Bifrost with a very nice, proactive early game with a respect.
Shadow Surge lands, they're going to go in. This will be a 3v3 though. Kasing trying to come up as fast as he can. The last embrace comes through, flash away from Fury, who really didn't want to be there at the other end of the chains, I think. But gets out alive, but it will be flash for flash in the mid lane.
Flash for flash. And if you know how Vex works, it is very difficult to be flashless in the mid. That champion wants perma prior, you want to be perma shoving that wave underneath your opponent's tower, you want to be perma tracking them to the point where you just pin them underneath the tower the entire game, and you basically do not allow them to roam or enter river before you. Right now, Fury is going to have to be a lot more respectful not having the flash. You've seen how many times Kasing has gone towards that mid lane the entirety of the series. You've seen how many times Viking has hovered that mid lane during the series, and we need to see a bit more vision going down around Fury's mid lane so you can prevent your mid laner from dying to a potential gank.
Turret plates have fallen. Chasey managed, of course, to claim that turret in the top side earlier, and that's got him back into the game a bit. A player who was kind of put out of it by some repeated ganks from Diamond earlier on. But you can see Odie still trying to work on this bot side tower, and that's yet to go down. And Bifrost have got the gold lead, but it's not a huge one, and X7 have stabilized from what was looking to be a bit of a runaway early start for Bifrost.
And if we're looking around the map, you'll see that from the side of X7, you have a lot more scaling, but you've got 2 AP damage dealers in the likes of Seraphine and Sylas, and these are going to be the 2 that are going to be the most annoying to deal with. All the healing, all the shielding, all the peeling that's coming in from Seraphine, and all the melees that he's playing with is going to be annoying, but Bifrost might want to pull yet another diver here. Fury is also hovering towards the bottom of the map and actually stop Temp from joining this fight. You don't necessarily have to dive right here. All you have to do is push X7 off of their tower.
So it's going to be very dangerous. Shadow Surge afterwards. Temp's going to try and make this one go in. He'll Ragnarok his way onto the afterlife. Odin will celebrate him in the top. What's got you? What?
Look at top lane. Chasey had to TP to try and save the potential scenario, but right here Shikari is left all alone in the top lane. He's going to shove the entire wave. That means that Bifrost get the kill. They get bot lane tower, they'll get mid lane tower, and they might get top lane tower all in one play. Bifrost are playing so well across the entire map, and they're choking X7 in their own early game.
Absolutely. The stolen Ragnarok removes those resistances still, and he fell apart there, did Tempt. The lane on the top side as well going very well for Shikari. Can't quite secure either of these outer turrets in the solo lanes, but they are very low.
Very close. And right here, you're playing against the Sylas in the mid lane. Unless you have the Seraphine mid and the Senna to perma-shove, if Sylas is there, that means he has to walk up to the wave, which means that he's in immediate danger of dying. So that mid lane tower is not so much of a hard catching dream as if you have a mage in the mid lane. And right now, Bifrost can put their Jinx right there.
Dodging shoes.
Ooh.
Dodges the root, dodges the last embrace, and Highway managing to keep himself in the driver's seat for now. And I kind of want to take this moment as well to really highlight how impactful this Olaf is in this game, in the sense that Poppy has been put up as the best champion in the game, period. Best jungler in the game, at least. And this Olaf has answered it so well so far, honestly. Has answered a lot of what X7 want to do so well so far. And Bifrost feeling pretty happy with this game. There's 40 seconds till an Ocean Drake. And I feel like Bifrost are going to feel very happy to take the fight.
Really important, we need to see where the Raids bar lies on the Gnar, because I feel like Shikari does not have any right now, because he transformed just back to mini Gnar. What he can do is take that top lane tower for free, and if you're Bifrost and you feel like you can't fight this, you just back off. You already have to Tempt.
Is he just dead? The turnaround's going to come through. Decent flee back, though. Shut down. But now Tempt must run away. Shikari teleports in, and he gets that kill, a 1-for-1.
That is a solo baller for Tempt right there onto Fury, who did not have his ult available. He just came off of cooldown, and also didn't have his flash available to get out.
He's into the backside, but I don't know how easy he wants this Diamond in a 1v4. Shikari about to hit Mega Gnar, though, so this will be a potential turnaround. Ragnarok is available. The double root comes through. But remember, there's Gore Drinker, so Diamond's not quite as low as you think he is, especially with some honey fruit to his name.
Very importantly, you do not want your Jinx walking that way. This is one of the smallest, tightest spaces, and if your AD carry walks through there, they're very susceptible to getting ganked and getting pinned down. I apologize, Fury did have his ultimate, he used it, it reset because the kill went over to Shikari, so he lost fair and square that 1v1 into Tempt Sylas, and as we'll see this again, Tempt will hit a very nice chain onto Fury, and the Q actually misses from the Vex, which means that Tempt gets a lot more damage onto Fury, and honestly, that TP comes a little bit too late from Shikari. Yes, he cashes in on the kill and shuts down the Sylas from the side lane, but at this point, you have lost your mid laner, who's supposed to put a lot of pressure in these team fights and create a lot of space for your Jinx. Nevertheless, all these Jinx have been all over the place, took bot lane tower, took mid lane tower now. Shikari has already taken control of the top side of the map. As we'll see, between the two carries, 1,000 gold in the bot lane difference going to the side of 40.
Credit to Chasey for evening up that top lane discrepancy despite the 3 kills. Actually pretty much even there, only 100 or so apart. But of course, Gangplank does cheat a little bit, print some of that money with the parlay. All the while, though, you can see good leads for the Olaf, good leads for the Jinx. And that's what Bifrost are trying to use here to leverage more of this game. And Fury of Vision looking to punish Tempt, who has flash, but no ability to hijack that Shadow Surge this time around.
There's ultimate, so you need to make sure that he's used his E, and Tempt has now just used his E, which means if you do hit the R, you can maybe all-in down approach and follow up, but they will not take the chance, because Cannon Barrage is still there, TP for Chasey is still there. Howard's gonna go back to base, and Fury has no tower, which means that he needs to respect the fact that he's all alone towards the top side of the map. And again, all eyes fall, 3.5 minutes, sorry, for Bifrost is going to be so point if they manage to secure that Ocean Soul, and having Ocean Soul with a bunch of tanks and a Jinx is going to be so huge for your team fights.
Absolutely. Of course, that was the prize they got for outplaying Fury towards the bot side and getting a big chunk onto Highway and the likes in the river. They did stop that soul point from going through, but of course Bifrost still in a pretty good position, but it did buy time for X7, who were kind of hitting that point where if they had been down that soul point coming into this next fight, it would have been really disastrous, such a difficult point to fight, but they are now getting a little bit more room to breathe, a little bit more room to scale, and this Gangplank, this Silas, this Seraphine, hell, even the center, of course, at 68 stacks now as well, all scale immensely well into the later stages of the game.
Very true, but also you do not have that consistent damage that an AD carry would provide you. Yes, Chasey does a lot of damage onto this Gangplank, but you need to make sure that your barrels will 100% hit for you to do the damage. Odi, all he has to do is right-click and allow his team to create room for him to actually stand still and put down the auto attacks. So this is a battle of endurance. If X7 have enough shielding and healing and survivability through these fights to play the back and forth, get Bifrost low enough in HP bars and shove them out of the fight, they win. If Odi gets one reset, they're gonna run X7 down.
Do what they can. All the while, though, this mid lane turret goes to go down as Highway gets forced away, but Viking taken very low by the towers himself. Might have to back away the Undertow just wide. Now Fury on a flank, maybe looking for a Shadow Surge. Tempt steals away the ultimate of Gnar. In they go! Big charge onto Chasey. Tekatolo has to flash back up, but the turnaround damage is huge, but it's a decent devour to keep Highway from going down as Tempt now chunked out. Diamond Brock's on the side, forced to flash out. Tempt. Massive Mega Gnar goes wide as the flashes come through. What about the turnaround? Diamond Brock's immunes it with the Ragnarok, but can he play this one out? The Golden Link come through, but he will have to fall down. No, not quite. Odi running rampant on the side as Shikari gets a kill as well. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Bifrost.
And you'll see how X7 wants to work this fight. You peel backwards and allow Senna and Seraphine to create space, heal you back up, and slow your opponents as they're chasing you. That was a very close fight right here where Bifrost walked straight into cannon barrages, and yet another very crucial ultimate misses from Attila's Seraphine. As you'll see, Diamond Prox gets a bunch here, he gets the empowered E from Seraphine, he gets the Everfrost, and once Chasey gets caught right here, yes, he does have the apple or citrus root or whatever it is to get out of the CC, but he's already very, very low, and Shikari's just transforming into Mega now. They bounce up all in the choke point, but very importantly, Attila manages to flash out of that Mega now. And as you see, Diamond Prox will zone two people away. For Odi to get one reset, he'll get a second one, which means that X7 have to throw their hands back up in the air and say, we do not want to play against a Jinx. That's actually excited right now. Talking about excitement though, Odi, 2.5 items in. This Jinx slowly but surely is coming online.
Seraphine, Silas, and Gangplank all down their flashes. All three of your carries now. They have to play the positioning in this next fight so well, where it gets very difficult. Viking goes in, but Diamond pops the Ragnarok and chunks out Chasey in turn. No flash, no way to go. But the Keeper's Verdict will not be enough because Odi puts a rocket down to end his life. Fury on the other side trying to trade out with Tempt. What can he do? Flash away, Highway. Abyssal dives in to make sure there's a turnaround. As the Shadow Surge is taken, Vex Press goes straight in. It's straight to Japan. The Shinkansen bullet train means Tempt has nowhere to go. Tempt gets himself in. Odi stays alive, though it was bloody close. And Bifrost get themselves soul point.
The amount of compilations that I've seen with Silas is suddenly like 1v3 or 1v4 and is absolutely insane. But at the end of the day, what really matters right here is that Bifrost win yet another massive team fight for themselves. Chasey overextends, gets instantly punished by all this Jinx, and Bifrost very crucially will pick up themselves soul point for Ocean Dragon, which is going to be huge later on for the front to back team fighting.
And reminder, Bifrost looked mediocre at points to split, I think is the term I will use. You're looking now at the likes of Fury, at Odi, of Shikari, having a series to remember. This is part of what made them so dangerous in spring. And what a time to come back and start playing like this. Of course, game's not over. Series is not over, but my God, is it in Bifrost's hands right now.
Absolutely. 5,000 gold difference towards the side of Bifrost. And yes, you can argue that X7 are playing for the scaling. One barrel from Gangplank can take someone out of the fight. Sure, you want to peel backwards and heal and shield and everything. But oh, Fury!
In they go! Shadow Surge deletes the Seraphine. There will be no encore, but the turnaround from Chasey makes it a 1-for-1.
There was no Devour on Highway to actually get Fury out of the situation, but remember, Seraphine is such a crucial part of your peeling backwards composition for the set of X7. She gives you so much shielding and healing and movement speed that right now that you don't have it, Odi can actually run free in these fights. Eyes on Shikari, he still has his Mega Knight, all he needs to do is transform. Damaprox is looking for the side.
It's a 4v4. Mid laner and AD carry traded. Tempt has got a hijacked Gnar ultimate. We all know what Sylas with that particular ultimate can do. Still, this is a game that X7 have got to battle against. You can see it in the momentum beater. It is Bifrost that feels so in control of this game. They've got a soul point to play on. They've got a 4-0-3 Jinx. This Jinx, honestly, in the pregame when we were sort of chatting before the death threw over to us, we said, look, Jinx in this meta against all these things that could potentially pick her off. Turns out it doesn't matter. They're just going forward faster than X7 can turn it around.
If your name is OD11, you are entitled to
Here is
picking
one
Jinx
free Jinx game.
you're picking Jinx and Aphelios. Oh, you freaking won. Even if the meta is solely Mages and Enchanters bot lane, this guy is allowed and entitled to picking Jinx and Aphelios. Thank you so much for bringing this up again.
This guy's quite good.
This is the damage per minute that he can do. And this is the KDA that he brings while playing in his opponent's faces. I want to say that this KDA is not a joke because he literally flashed into 4 members with failures in the previous game. This guy doesn't play for his KDA. This guy earns his KDA by killing his opponents. And right now he's sitting at the best possible scenario to do that. 3 items in. This Jinx has just power spike when it comes to items. 4, 0, and 3. Also props to Shikari.
Yes.
Getting that Gnar and making it work for yet another game in a row. 2.5 items on his behalf as well. 4, 0, and 1 yet to die. So all eyes on Shikari's Mega Knight ultimates and how he can find those, creating room again for Aldi to shine.
And the angst that Vex will be outputting, about to get significantly more emo because, of course, she's just picked up a death cap. All the better to be as difficult as they can. But Fury actually now in a difficult position, getting rooted up, might actually be traded out. The moment I praise, the moment I talk about it, take it out. Tempt finds the pick. What can they do more with it? Tempt actually gone very deep here. Needs to be a little afraid. Not going to find too much more. They get a pick, but difficult to make any more of it. Fury, 40 seconds on spawn, still a minute and a half until the dragon. They might get this mid lane turret and a bounty to boot.
Yeah, you
steal away the Shikari ult.
You need to let that tower actually go. And remember, Fury might be 30 seconds down, but he doesn't have teleport to actually join immediately. So you need to take into consideration another 20 to 30 seconds to get wherever he wants to be on the map to assist his team. Fury overextends, instantly punished by X7, and X7 very crucially get that mid lane tower. Mid lane tower means more vision into your opponent's jungle, and this is what X7 actually need to start contesting for the next dragons that will come up, that will ring soul for the sort of Bifrost. Might I remind you, last game this happened, Bifrost ran it for Baron and allowed X7 to get the second dragon of the game.
This time X7 are quick to try and turn this one. A flash from Tempt won't quite secure it. Abyss dive away, but now Diamondprox has to Ragnarok away. Tempt gonna try and turn this one out. Has got a Mega Knight, and the Ragnarok has run out. They're gonna get him into the wall. The jungler about to die. Nowhere to go, even with the Gore Drinker. Smite is dead, and Highway was not there to devour him.
Okay, but I don't think this nets X7 a Baron yet. Playing into the Baron pit versus a Vex is very dangerous, versus a Jinx that can actually get excited, throw the Super Mega Death Rocket. Still, the Baron is very dangerous. But what they can do is make sure they secure that dragon away from Bifrost. One asterisk, keep eyes on the Super Mega Death Rocket because he has stolen neutral objective before. Odi is going to fire it all the way from base when that dragon spawns in literally now.
2 critical picks from Tempt in a row. One onto the mid laner, one onto the jungler. Wait for that rocket. I'm watching Trouble with a finger up. Is he going to bother firing? I think he just avoids it. Decides against it this time. Would rather hold on to that ultimate. Let's see the replay. Because Tempt just goes balls to the wall
but you see that Bifrost want to play front to back. So literally when your Tahm Kench is spread away from the Jinx, when you see Diamondprox having to pop both his flash and ultimate to get away from 3 members from X7, you lose your smite, you also lose the front to back potential right there, but the flash from Tahm Kench is really huge because a lot of the times you allow your AD carry to overextend, you flash eat them, and then you speed them back up in the back line. That is very huge, especially with how aggressive Aldi really likes to play on the C-Mobile carries.
Now with the bounties collected, X7 are only 1,000 gold behind, if that. They've stopped the soul going down twice in a row now. Bifrost Yes, they have a lead. Yes, they have got themselves in a position where they can win this game, but X7 have clawed their way back into a position where they can contest significantly more dangerously.
So here's the deal. X7 do like to fight in these choke points because Gangplank ult and Seraphine ult shine. But also what shines is a Vex with multi-man phase and OD where he spreads his damage with the rockets. Now the Baron is going to start going down. Shikari just about to make Meganar.
Attempt has hit.
Oh, he's out!
That's the Meganar about gone. Fury, slightly awkward position, needs to be able to play this one out. The cannon barrage comes down. Diamond Prox in the back of the pit, has got no flash, nowhere to go. Meganar into the wall, the jungler is dead! Bifrost forced away from it, now the turnaround. Viking about to be traded back, that's now a 1-for-1. Shikari has to go to the back end of the encore, only leaning really on to Highway. Tempt on the side is on to Shikari, and Odie and Fury alone are trying to trade this one out. Shut down, and X7 are right back in it!
We've been praising Bifrost for the team fighting, and the past two have been absolute chaos. You overextend, you make a mistake, you take the wrong step versus X7, they're going to punish you. Fury is gonna stick around to try and potentially maybe still right there because Viking is down, there is no smite for the set of X7, but they are going to secure with Tempt, Silas, and slowly but surely these carries for X7 are starting to come online. The Gangplank on 3 items, Silas on 3 items, add all the shielding and healing from Seraphine and Senna. These guys are invisible, and yet again you'll see Diamond Prox stuck into the Baron pit. But what is very crucial is that Shikari, you're engaged, he's out of the fight, and he doesn't join until Diamond Prox dies. And even when he does, everyone is too preoccupied by Viking in the backline that when the Meganar lands onto Attila, no one's there to follow it up. Or he gets one reset, but it doesn't matter because everyone is too healthy and he cannot step forward because his support is dead. We mentioned, once Kench is dead, you cannot play too over-aggressive on Aphelios or Jinx because you have no way out.
Tempt has found a way back into this game. He has been a monster in this mid to late stages from 0-3, practically, now to the 4-4 with 3.5 items complete. Baron to their name, and X7 now with a gold lead in this game. And a lot of those items are in. So much continual sustain, really, between the Seraphine, the Senna, the healing from Silas. So hard to blow up these carries.
And very importantly, level 16 means 3 points in someone's ultimate. Chasey, level 16 on the Gangplank, the Cannon Barrage, Shikari with the Meganar. We're looking for Fury right now and Odie to hit a power spike. Chase is getting chased away by the AD carry of Bifrost, and Bifrost really seem eager to try and defend that tower. They're going to have to go back into their base, but Diamond Prox has actually sneaked himself in. I don't think he's been spotted yet.
Do they overshove? But X7 are wise to the potential danger and don't recall, or rather do recall, but Tempt and Viking have stuck. That's 2 people now. They're in danger here. Is there even a chance for something like a teleport? Shikari decides against it, and Tempt and Viking just get to walk away, despite being split off from the rest of their team.
Now, if you look at the top, right, and left of your screens, 1 minute for Dragon, 1 minute for Baron buff onto X7. What X7 can do here is actually shove in the lanes and get priority and vision on the bot side of the map to try and fight that Ocean Dragon.
Eyes on Senna stacks as well, quickly nearing 130 stacks, very much online now, while they were lacking in the AD carry damage before. That's pretty much an artillery piece in for this 2-item Senna as well.
As you see, Bifrost right here. Ooh, as Fury throws out the ulti right there. Really important for Vex to be able to reach that backline. Bifrost are really looking for that entrance into the river, but they're stuck into choke point.
He's being knocked out, knocked down. Support is dead. Highway caught out in a mid to late game scenario. We've seen that a few times before. Tempt, stolen Gnar ultimate will run down this to Olaf, who's trying to heal up. No! No, they won't, as Odie gets the shutdown. He's still alive. Fury on the side, though, is left out to dry, has to flash out. Shikari and Highway traded for the mid laner.
Odie refuses to lose this game. Bifrost keeps overextending. They don't understand principles of how to enter the river and going through a choke point. We said it. Gangplank, Seraphine, Senna, you do not want to be walking through choke points, especially since Highway is the win con, or whether his AD carry can play the team fights or not. Highway goes down, Odie cannot step forward. And this has been mistake over mistake from the Bifrost support that has cost them 2 team fights in a row. As you will see here, Highway walks in, but Shikari is in Minina form. He's not in no way, shape or form ready to fight this. And Tempt with a hijacked Meganar will shove 2 people onto the wall. Luckily for them, Odie will bail them out from a game end again. But this gives yet another Dragon over to the side of X7, and this time it's going to be Soul Point for them.
Into the library, Attila goes and he pulls out a very dusty tome with 10 stacks in it, Magi's in him, Seraphine. 4 items nearly complete for Tempt, of course, between the Oblivion Orb and the Blighting Jewel, 2 very important and powerful components to his name. 4 items, including Infinity Edge for Chasey, though, is the real danger at this point. These barrels are going to be hitting really, really hard at this point in the game. And yes, Odie at 4 items himself is a danger, but his front line needs to survive long enough for him to use it.
Mind you, right here, he only has Megana because that Olaf is not as tanky as you think, and Highway also melts. He's level 13 versus 17 Gangplank, 17 Silas, and 16 Seraphine. He's literally 3 to 4 levels down of the carries from the side of X7, which means that if this Tamkens steps forward, he's going to get almost one shot like we saw in the previous fight. Now again, if you want to turn this around and you're Bifrost, you're looking for one of these big wombo combos. Fury with the ultimate from the Vex into Shikari's Megana. Shikari's gonna try to jump. Megana is gonna go mini, and Fury has missed ulti again.
Struggling in these later stages with the Vex. Him being caught a couple times was part of what led to X7 mounting this comeback. And now they are in position really to strangle Bifrost out of their half of the map, strangle them into Game 3 where X7 will be at match point despite what was looking like a very comfortable Bifrost early game.
As we look into the inventories, 3 to 4 items completed very crucially. Chasey went back to base, purchased the stopwatch. Stopwatch also for Shikari. The teams know that this will most likely be the last fight. If someone gets caught, game is over. It's 37 minutes into the game. Huge death timers. Teams can actually push into the base and end the game. 10 seconds for Baron, and both teams will want this one to end the game. Sieging is the name of the game, but the fact that they're gonna want to fight for this fight means that whoever ends up winning gets the Baron, gets to end the game. This is why it's so crucial. Look at all the control wards for both teams. Look at all the stop wards for both teams. One for Kasing purchased as well.
Eyes on Tempt, Silas now looking to try and secure the Skull Crabber's Diamond Plus. What happened in the mid lane, there's a bit of a scuffle beginning. Big chunk onto Chasey, Shadow Surge lands, will they follow through? Not quite yet, bopped away by the Keeper's verdict. Will not be able to follow up super easily. Now what about the turnaround? Viking goes in, but that's very deep. Lots of healing to try and turn this around. He's being forced to flee by the doom and the gloom. Turnaround though as Tempt goes in, will not find the angle he's looking for. Soul and Megnar isn't the best. Tempt has now go golden himself. Viking solo, flash from Highway, can't secure the kill. The shielding, the healing. Odie is dominating though. The first kill comes through and the excitement is real. Shikari with the Megnar for so many flashes, but no real hits. They're still going to get a double onto Odie. Gets this the pentakill angle. You have to begin wondering. Needs an auto, needs a zap. It's still Diamond Proxy gets another kill, and the kill streak will stop here. But finally, Bifrost find a winning team fight after 3 they lost in a row.
60-something% believe that X7 will win this best of 5 really easily, and Odie says no. Back to back to back, they've lost best ofs versus X7, and now they're putting their foot down, and their AD carry is one of the most pivotal factors in why this is happening. Bifrost are gonna walk away with that fight. Bifrost are gonna walk away with the Baron. 45 seconds for the next fight, which is going to be the Osel, and let's watch this again, because Fury right here has no ultimate, which allows Viking to go in thinking that he has no threat, and Tempt finds a Megana onto no one. There's no walls around to stun anyone, and Tempt is left alone in the middle of everything. He will end up going down to Odie, and once this Jinx gets excited, we said it, once this Jinx gets that passive rolling, she's going to run down the entire fight. That is a 4-item Jinx. She will keep mowing down, and Highway, very importantly, that Tamkens staying alive allows Odie to step up like this and take down the entirety of X7. Now, 5 seconds for the Dragon. Bifrost are first in the pit.
Despite the bloodbath this game has turned into, Odie has yet to die. Now with the Guardian Angel, he has certainly been playing in an extraordinary fashion. There's a soul, it's down, no way to fight. Tempt has stolen the Megana, the Shadow Surge goes wide. Been struggle for Fury to make those count right now. But with the soul to Bifrost, The next
that's
thought
dangerous.
must go towards what happens with the Baron power play they've secured for themselves, but what about the turnaround? Fury has to flash away, Cannon Barrage comes down. Shikari and Diamond Proc split off from the rest of the team. Only onto the Wolves that last embrace will land. Now Temp still heading forwards, gets onto Diamond Proc, he's got a Ragnarok, but nowhere really to go. Where is Highway with a potential Devour? Must
Oh, the
come
top
through,
point,
but there's
the
so
top
many
point.
shields. They leave him to dry. In goes Temp, but he's gone so deep, there's a stop point through. Meganar is stolen, and 2 are dead as the barrels come through. X7 find the top jungle duo, and Devour is still up.
Bifrost pile up on the choke point and get punished again. That is a 5-man unit pushing down, and only the 2 carries and a Tamkens are left alive from the sort of Bifrost. X7 might look for the win right here.
They've still got Baron, and they've still got a soul. They've still got this Jinx alive. They must hold on. 30 seconds remain on Diamond Prox and Shikari. They must withstand the numbers discrepancy.
What is this game? There's another wave
Same.
coming in for X7. They're looking for Aldi to overstep. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have cleanse. If he gets caught, he might lose his GA, he might lose his life. And if he does, Bifrost will lose the game with him.
Hold your breath and make it a big one. This game's about to go interesting as Tempt steals the Vex Press and goes in. 1 tower falls. That'll be a dead mid laner. The bot laners must survive, must hold on. But X7 can stay no longer. They'll get a Nexus turret and retreat.
That's it, you can't push further if
Wait.
you're X7. Everyone has spawned back up. There's 4 members for Bifrost. There's no DP on Shikari to get a flank if he wants to. And X7 are literally gonna get away with murder right here. Bifrost piling up on a choke point has been the doom of their existence this particular game. And forget the gold leads on your screens right now. This is a dead
Immaterial.
even game. This is a one team fight defining game. 7-0 and 5 on all these Jinx. 5 items. GA. Pot. He is ready for the next fight. 2 minutes and 45 for the next Baron. And right here, this is where you see the resilience of teams. If you overextend and you get caught, you end up leaving your team with 4 members, which means that the team fight is instantly lost. So both teams need to make sure they do not overextend. They push out their waves with the safety of their vision.
Unclench your hands, slip back off the edge of your seats and prepare yourselves. This is the calm before the coming storm. Both teams in a position to end this game. One big team fight, one big slip up, and this game ends. It has been high octane, tense, extraordinary stuff here in our first playoff series of the summer split. I hope you're entertained, because I know I sure as hell am.
This is a damn best of 5, and I hope we get 5 of these games. The third
Treated
one,
like
though,
it.
Soul, Ocean Soul to Bifrost. If you want a team fighting tool, if you want a tool to battle all the healing and shielding coming in from Ascena, Seraphine, Silas, this is the tool you need to survive as well in these big team fights, the front to back, eyes on a highway. This time Kent needs to stay alive so Odie can play his game, so Odie can carry the team forward. Shikari on this Meganar. Can he find the big stunts to set up his AD carry? For success has been the name of the game, else X7 have so much peeling that they can walk backwards forever while they're killing you at the same time.
X7 at this point, hitting that point in the game where there's only Viking with room in his inventory for the likes of control wards.
It's always the jungler, man.
It's always that one. On the other side, still a little bit of space in Bifrost's inventory, still a little bit of room for the Tahm Kench, for Diamond and the like to put in a few more of those control wards. And when it comes to these late game scenarios and vision becomes even more critical, the tension ratchets up that additional notch, and it's already hitting breaking point. 50 seconds till Baron, a minute plus for that Elder Dragon spawn. And both teams begin to posture in the mid lane.
Shikari does have the GA. He's just about to hit Mega now. Tempt also has the Na available for him. You cannot afford to
He's been
take lost
scored!
balls.
Can they keep him alive? The Cannon Barrage onto him, the Keeper's Verdict will force Shikari away with the Mega Gnar coming through. The Devour now popped. Big ultimate from Viking, big ultimate from Highway though.
That was panic button right there from Highway, because if Tempt jumped in with Na, Odie was literally standing right next to a wall. It could have been disaster for the sort of Bifrost, but that huge ultimate, that Devour is no longer there. That means Odie has to play pixel perfect.
Tempt still has the Mega Gnar. I don't know for how much longer. I don't know how long this hijack will last. Still a few other critical ultimates that could be available. 5 seconds on the Baron, and X7 will move quickly towards the big purple worm. Bifrost, will they try and contest? It's going to be a quick one going through at this point. Down to 2/3 HP. Tempt still on a flank, still looking to come on in. But Diamond with Ghost, with Ragnarok coming and trying to steal it. It's going to go down. It will be a smite fight. No, it's not. It's secured by Tempt of all people. But what about the turnaround? Express comes in! Kasinga's got on the center, is down. Golden Ghost Fury resurrecting though on the other side. They must keep Shikari alive. Into the backside goes Viking. Diamond trading out with Tempt, and Odie still free firing, still doing what he can, zapping and firing out all those rockets. Is he movie star enough? Will Arcane's #1 villain do what she can? She's back down into the Guardian Angel and shut down for the first and last time this game. X7 will secure themselves game 2.
Only Shikari left alive, no GA to his name, not much HP. X7 have gone back to base, they've TP'd back in, and they're looking to get that #2 on the board for themselves. Ocean Soul means nothing, Burn Buff means nothing, because Shikari's left all alone with no teammates, and X7 knock.
It was with their nails on the edge of the cliff face. They hold on, and in a fashion none of us were imagining, X7 managed to make it to match point, but my God, have Bifrost made it a difficult scenario.
Whew. I'm not gonna lie, Initialize, when we go into this best of 5, I was told this is gonna be an easy one for X7. It's gonna be a quick 3-0. That's not the case. I'm seeing a Bifrost that plays macro early game. I'm seeing a Bifrost that gets ahead in the early game. And then, unfortunately, when you go 50, 40 minutes into the game, one team fight, you have such long death timers that you can actually finish the game. This was a huge back and forth. This is very entertaining series to watch. And even though X7 are one game away from solidifying this best of 5 and going further forward to securing that EU Masters ticket, I think Bifrost are not making it easy at all.
Not at all. And a game that in some ways was decided by those minute mispositioning errors, those grouping up in those choke points that got X7 back in. It has been riveting, high drama stuff. I'm going to take a moment here because I need to catch my breath. The desk will have to do my work for me from now.
What is this? This is one of the most exciting series we've had. Bifrost are making X7 run for their money. You lost predictions. No more prize for you. I don't even care. We need to talk about this game. We thought about it. We discussed this on the green room. As soon as we saw the champions select, we were like, okay, Bifrost have a timer. They have the Olaf. Obviously, they have the Jinx from the Arcane. We all know that. You guys know that one. But it wasn't enough. Tempt on a Silas. You also get the GP. You get the Senna. It was a timer set up, right?
Yeah, I think they got the ball rolling early on, and they just lacked the damage in the end. I think Odie was the one-man army, but he couldn't do it all.
That's the thing. It was a one-man army facing X7, and X7 were pushing them constantly from front to back on those fights. Bifrost seemed like they had the entire game. Like you were saying on the green room, you were really confident that Bifrost were going to win.
Okay, confident. Well, I definitely thought
You were the one pressing +5.
I definitely think they had the chance. And they were so close too. If you managed to catch the last fight, I do believe I have a replay of it that I really want to highlight, because they actually managed to assassinate Kasing, and things look very good. The main problem is, Tempt just didn't die. He refused to go down, the Kingslayer.
Before we jump into the last one, Duckling, we have the first fight with X7.
Okay, let's look at it.
We're able to recover, I believe. That is the fight we have in store for you guys, where X7 got... Okay, there you go. So this is a fight where they try to set up and pushing Bifrost against the ropes. Even though you see the kills upstairs, up there on the scoreboard, Sin has a lot of souls, and you have to respect that.
And obviously the choke point, right? We all know how useful the Gnar ultimate is in that. They just delete it. That's the thing, right? They have the combo, they have the on-course will to CC them up, and more importantly, late game barrels to the GP hurt like a truck. So getting hit by that, getting hit by a late game AP Gnar ultimate as well is a ton of damage, and you know, even the front line of Bifrost couldn't withstand it. So in the end, Odie didn't have his front line for long enough to be able to take someone down. Tempt was healing too much with the W, and I'm gonna give it X7. They played that game very well. It was back and forth. Both teams had the chance to win it. In the end, though, X7 clutched it out in the late game team fights. They got the win on the board, and now they are on match point.
And this is a completely different way of play style for X7. This is not how we got to know them with Viking. With Viking, they're always pushing on the front, getting that early lead, and using it to their own advantage. This is different, right, Merps?
Yeah, I think it's a bit similar though, in a sense that they have the carry top lane, they have the carry mid laner, but only Attila being on the Seraphine duty is something spicy. Yeah.
It is spicy. It is quite different, and it is X7 taking the second one versus Bifrost 2-1 right now. This is on the court of X7, and it's in favor of X7. One game away from getting to the next stage of playoffs.